Hi everyone, today I will be reading the story of Snow White and Rose Red. There was once a poor widowed woman who lived in a lonely cottage. In front of cottage was a garden, where stood two rose trees, one of which had white roses, and the other one was red roses. She had two children who were like two roses trees, and one was called Snow White and the other one was Rose Red. They were good, happy, busy, and cheerful children. They were often alone in the chil- They were often alone in the forest and gathered berries, and no animals hurt them because they were so kind. The little hare would eat the cabbage leaf out of their hands. The roe grazed by their side, and the stag leaped merrily by them. Snow White and Rose Red kept their mother's little cottage so neat that it was a pleasure to look inside it. In the summer, in the summer, Rose in the summer, Rose Red took care of the house. In the winter, Snow White did. She lit the fire and hung the kettle on the knob. She lit the fire and hung the kettle on the hob. In the evening, when the snowflakes fell, In the evening, when the snowflakes fell, the mother said, "Go, Snow White, lock the door." And then they sat round the fireplace. And the mother took her glasses and read out of a book. And the two girls listened as they sat and spun. On evening, as they were sitting, One evening as they were sitting comfortably together, someone knocked at the door. The mother said, "Quick, Rose Red, open the door. It must be a traveler who is seeking shelter." Rose Red opened the door, and there was a bear that stuck his big head in the door. Rose Red screamed head. Rose Red screamed and jumped back, and Snow White hid herself behind her mother's bed. But the bear began to talk and said, "Do not be afraid. I'll d- Do not be afraid. I will do you no harm. I will do you no harm. Do not be afraid. I will do you no harm. I am half frozen and only want to harm myself a little bit beside you." But the bear began to talk and said, "Do not be afraid. I will do no harm to you. I am half frozen and only want to harm myself. Do not be afraid. I will do no harm to you. I am half frozen and only want to warm myself a little beside you." "Poor bear," said the mother, "lie down by the fire. Only take care that you do not burn your coat." Then she cried. Snow White, Rose Red came out. Then she cried, "Snow White, Rose Red, come out. The bear will do no harm. He means well." So they both came out. The bear said, "Here, children, knock the snow out of my coat a little." So they brought the broom and swept the bear's fur clean, and he stretched himself by the fire and growled contentedly. And soon the bear became a friend. They tugged his hair with their hands, put their feet upon his back and rolled back. They tugged his hair with their hands. They tugged his hair with their hands, put their feet upon his back and rolled him about. When it was bedtime and the others went to bed, the mother said to the bear, "You can lie there by the fireplace, and then you will be safe from the cold and the bad weather." In the morning, the two girls let the bear out and trotted across the snow into the forest. The bear became every evening at the same time, laid himself down by the fireplace, and let the children amuse themselves with him as much as they liked. And they got so used to him that the doors were never locked until their friend had arrived. When spring had come, the bear said one morning to Snow White, "I must go away and can't come back to the whole summer." "Where are you going, dear bear?" asked Snow White. "I must go into the forest and guard my treasures." "I must go away and can't come back the whole summer." "Where are you going, dear bear?" asked Snow White. "I must go into the forest and guard my treasures from the wicked dwarfs." In the winter, when the earth is frozen hard, they are obliged to stay below and cannot work their way through. But now, when the sun has warmed the earth, they break through it and come out to steal. Snow White was sad to see him go, and as she opened the door for him, the bear was hurrying out. His fur got caught in the door handle, and a piece of his hairy coat was torn off. And it seemed to Snow White as if she had seen gold shining through it. She but she was not sure about it. The bear ran away quickly, and was soon the bear ran away quickly and was soon out of sight behind the trees. A short time afterwards, the mother sent her chil- A short time afterwards, the mother sent her children into the forest to get firewood. They found a big tree fallen on the ground, and close by the trunk, something was jumping backwards and forwards in the grass, but they could not make out what it was. When they came near, they saw a dwarf with an old feathered face and a snow white beard. The end of the beard was caught in the tree, and the little fellow was jumping about like a dog tied to a rope, and did not know what to do. He looked at the girls with his very red eyes, and cried, "Why do you stand there? Can you come here and help me?" "What are you up to, little man?" asked Rose Red. "You stupid prying goose," answered the dwarf. "I was going to split the tree to get a little wood for cooking, but it went wrong and now I'm stuck." The children tried very hard, but they could not pull the hair. The children tried The children tried very hard, but they could not pull the beard out. "I will run and fetch someone," said Rose Red. "You senseless goose," snarled you, s- you senseless you senseless you senseless goose, snarled the dwarf. "Don't be impatient," said Snow White. "I will help you," and she pulled her scissors out of her pocket and cut off the end of the beard. As soon as the dwarf was free, he grabbed a bag which was full of gold, and grumbled to himself, "To cut off a piece of my fine beard, bad luck to you," and then he swung the bag upon his back, and went off without even once looking at the children. Some time afterwards, Snow White and Rose Red went to catch fish. As they came near the brook, they saw something like a large grasshopper, jumping towards the water. They ran to it and found it was a dwarf. "Where are you going?" said Rose Red. "You surely don't want to go into the water." "I am not such a fool," cried the dwarf. "Don't you see that the fish wants to pull me in?" The little man had been sitting there fishing, and unluckily the wind had tangled up in his beard with the fishing line. A moment later a big fish made a bite. The fish kept the upper hand and pulled the dwarf towards him. He held on, but it was of little good, for he was forced to follow the movements of the fish, and was in urgent danger of being dragged into the water. The girls came just in time. They held him fast and tried to free his beard from the line. There was nothing to do but to bring out the scissors and cut the beard. When the dwarf saw that, he screamed out, Was it enough to clip off the end of my beard? Now you have cut off the best part of it." Then he took out a sack of pearls, which lay in the grass, and without another word he dragged it away and disappeared behind a stone. It happened that soon afterwards that the mother sent the two children to the town. They noticed a large bird hovering in the air, flying slowly round and round above them. It sank lower and lower, and at last settled near a rock not far away. Immediately they heard a loud cry. They saw with horror that the eagle had seized their old acquaintance the dwarf, and was going to carry him off. The children grabbed the little man tightly and pulled against the eagle so that it let go. The children grabbed the little man tightly and pulled against the eagle so long that it let go. As soon as the dwarf recovered from his first fright and cried with his shrill voice, "Could you not have done it more carefully? You drag at my brown coat so that it is all torn and full of holes, you clumsy creatures." Then he took up a sack full of precious stones and slipped away, again under the rock into his hole. The girls who by this time were used to his ingratitude went on their way and did their business in town. On their way back home they came across the dwarf again, who had laid out all his precious stones. The evening sun shone upon the brilliant stones. They glittered and sparkled with all colors so beautifully that the children stood still and stared at them. "Why do you stand gaping there?" cried the dwarf, and his face became red with rage. He was still cursing when a loud growling was heard, and a bear came trotting towards them out of the forest. The dwarf sprang up in a fright, but he could not reach his cave, for the bear was already close. Then he cried, "Dear Mr. Bear, spare me. I will give you all my treasures. Look, the beautiful jewels lying there. Come, take these two girls for mercy's sake." Snow White married him, and Rose Red married his brother, and they divided between them the great treasure, which the dwarf had gathered in his cave. The old mother lived peacefully and happily with her children for many years. She took the two rose trees with her, and they stood before her window and every year bore the most beautiful roses, white and red. So everyone, what is the moral lesson of this story? Snow White and the Rose Red imparts a moral lesson centered around the virtues of kindness, generosity, and the transformative power of compassion. The narrative unfolds as the two sisters, Snow White and Rose Red, extend their benevolence to a seemingly ordinarily bear in need. Through their selfless acts of hospitality, through their selfless acts of hospitality, hospitality. Through their selfless acts of hospitality, the bear is revealed to be cursed. Through their selfless acts of hospitality, the bear is revealed to be a cursed prince. This fairy tale underscores the importance of looking beyond appearance. This fairy tale, this fairy tale underscores the importance of looking beyond appearance and highlights the notion that genuine kindness can lead to unforeseen rewards. The sisters' unwavering compassion not only break the curse, but also brings about a profound possibility. The sisters' unwavering compassion not only breaks the curse, but also brings about a profound positive change in their lives. The story encourages readers to embrace empathy, demonstrating that acts of goodness and altruism can have ripple effects, bringing joy and transformation to those who practice in them. In essence, Snow White and Rose Red serves as Snow White and Rose Red serve as a timeless reminder that the beauty of a human spirit lies in the capacity for compassion and potential. In essence, Snow White and Rose Red serves as a timeless reminder that the beauty of a human spirit lies in its capacity. In essence, Snow White and Rose Red serves as a timeless reminder. In essence, Snow White and Rose Red serves as a timeless reminder that the beauty of human spirit lies in its capacity for compassion and the potential for positive change that emerge from selfless the potential for positive change that emerges from selfless deed. That's all for today. Thank you all for watching and listening. Bye bye.